We're all gonna have this moment of like,
Hi guys.
Aren't you wearing the wrong?
I'm representing. You don't want to wear your own shirt. That's obnoxious.
I've done that before.
Not to this.
Last year I saw you were wearing a Flash shirt.
All right, maybe I did. But I've grown since
And
then.
your son was wearing an X-Men shirt. And we had a whole conversation.
Holy crap. Yeah, you're right. All right. Fine. Busted. I've never done... Oh, you have photographic evidence? All right. Well, then I did... Yeah, then I...
Well, you go with the classic, so that.
Yeah, if you're going to remember everything, I guess...
Tell us all the secrets. Okay, don't do that because I would hate spoilers. How about this? Tease us with what's coming up next. And did you have that vision at the beginning of the season where you were ending up now that you actually got the finale?
Yeah, I mean, we always believe in the plan. We always have a plan, and usually speaking, we sort of like, even if we don't understand the specifics of it, we understand the emotional of it. So emotionally, we're ending exactly where we expected. I mean, these were some of our earliest ideas and how the season would play out and what Barry's journey would be, and some of it we've sort of figured out along the way, as always. But we're big fans of having a plan, and I think you see that in any of the pilots we do, whether it was Arrow or Flash, or you'll see in Supergirl, and then the new spinoff that we always want to have somewhere to go, and certainly we know from the beginning what it's going to be emotionally. So, as far as teases are concerned, I think what you're going to get is even more of the shared universe, which is kind of fun. Between the two shows, we're not having what we call like the crossover. We sort of having the mini crossovers, and I think in some ways it was sort of more fun for me, more fun for us, because it makes both shows sort of feel more lived in, and it makes it really feel like these people are friends and that their relationships go on even when they're not, even when they're not like the once a year we do the sort of epic 2-hour crossover.
Has the tone of the show evolved at all? Like when you saw how much people are willing to accept, like superpowers on live action, and you're seeing people are going for this, we can do more, amp it up. Has that changed at all, or with your vision always stayed the same?
No, we always we knew that any superhero show you have to have supervillains. I mean, it just doesn't work if you don't. We're blessed with the Flash that he's got. Next to Spider-Man and Batman, he's got the best rogues gallery out there. And as many people as we've thrown out there in this first season, I mean, we have every villain and hero that's ever been in Flash from the beginning of time, like on a board. And we moved, like every time we use one, we move them over to the other side of the board, and like there's still so many people. I mean, it's insane, and like top tier people that we haven't even touched yet. And so I don't think our vision of the show has changed. I think just our ability to actually pull off some of this stuff, which we weren't sure we could do. Certainly with Grodd. I mean, we figured out enough of that. I mean, and planned it well enough. I mean, we have an episode where Grodd's the villain. I mean, we have a fully CG villain, in an episode, and it's not just like, oh hey, how are you for 1 minute. I mean, it's Grodd's in that episode, and I don't think that's something that we necessarily thought we could pull off, or even that the audience, if you weren't a comic book fan, would go, why is there an 8-foot telepathic gorilla on this show now? And yet somehow it works. I think I think we were more worried, in an odd way, we were sort of more worried about were people going to accept the emotional stuff, the heart of the show, because it's sort of unrepentantly heartfelt. And was there room for that, especially in this sort of day and age where, between the Dark Knight movies and Daredevil and, your heroes are sort of coming all and Green Arrow. I mean, we're doing Arrow, which, we're as guilty of it as anybody, of having that sort of, put upon tortured hero, but, where people are going to want to watch a show that had superpowers, but also a scene between, two men, who love each other, and the whole audience is going to be crying at the end of it.
The episodes with Captain Cold are always like super exciting and fun and dynamic to watch. How do you decide which villains you bring back, like you have with him so many times, versus the ones that maybe just come on for one episode and then you have yet to return to them?
Obviously Captain Cold is, the Flash's main nemesis. So, we knew we were going to want to bring him back over and over again, and that's part of getting Wentworth and convincing Wentworth to do it. Sometimes it's the actor we cast. We have a whole bunch of returning villains coming up in an upcoming episode, and we have the Mist back, because we loved Anthony Kerrigan. He scared the bejesus out of us, with his line deliveries. So it's just, sometimes it's because of the actor we cast, sometimes it's because we love how the power turned out, and other times it's because it's the design of the show. So, and no one should ever think like, oh, they never brought my guy back, that was a bad actor or whatever. It's just sometimes where the story takes us, or, wouldn't it be cool, when we're designing a story, again, we always design everything from an emotional standpoint and what's happening to the characters, and the sort of, how we come to sort of who the villain of the piece is sort of the last piece of the puzzle, unless it's specifically designed like for Captain Cold or something. And so that's sometimes how people end up coming back.
Good question. I have a friend who watched all of Arrow. I have a friend who watched all of Arrow, thought it was great, super dark. Then he watched The Flash and he was like, oh, this is too light. I don't know if I can watch this. It's like not my thing. And I keep telling him, well, that's not the case anymore necessarily. So did you intend to start it off in a completely different way, and then speak to how the show has now progressively kind of gone to a darker place?
I don't know. I mean, if you watch that pilot, it's not. I don't really feel like tonally it's left that. I mean, there's a lot of dark moments in the pilot. I mean, when Joe tells Barry, like, your whole life you've been slinging this BS, like, it's time for you to grow up. Your dad killed your mom, and the last scene with Barry and his dad, and then the revelation at the end about Wells. Like, I don't really feel like tonally the show is all that different. I mean, I think there clearly is a lightness, and a heart to, and a humor, especially to the Flash that isn't on Arrow, but I don't really think we've abandoned it. I think it's just reached that part of the story where things are getting, the veils have come down, so it's harder to be sort of funny, but the heart and the spectacle aspect of it haven't changed at all. I don't think. I mean, we've got some real tearjerker moments coming up, and what's kind of fun about episode 18, where Felicity and Ray show up, is despite everything that's going on, there is some screwball comedy in it, and the way Ray relates to Cisco, and the way Ray relates to Barry, and the way Felicity relates to Barry now that she's got a boyfriend, and it's there's just a lot of fun stuff coming up. And some real laughs too. So,
just want to be clear, that was not my opinion. That was someone else's opinion.
Well, your friend was wrong.
I love both.
Time for new friends.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks so much.